Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this really easy cat quilt block. Now this is a very basic quilt block that I'm showing you. So your A fabric is identified for the cat fabric and your B fabric is your background fabric. Now all of the cutting instructions and fabric amounts that you will need are listed below your YouTube screen in the description section. So just scroll down to that section until you see more. Click on that word and that section will expand open and you will see all of the links appearing. Okay, let's get started. Take your 3 2.5-inch squares of your background fabric. Remember, it's called the B fabric. And this is the pretty side, called right side. Turn them over until you're looking at the back. And you're going to draw a line from corner to corner. So take a ruler of your choice and line it up at the corners and then draw a line. And do that on all 3. Now take your 2 of your 2.5-inch squares of your A fabric and 2 2.5-inch squares of your B fabric and bring pretty sides together, right sides. And you're going to pin them together and then stitch really close to the center line. Don't stitch on top of the center line, but very close to it right along here. Now this is the side that I stitched on, so I'm going to trim that side off down to about 1/4 of an inch wide from where I stitched. And you do that on both of your squares. Now these 2 squares are going to be the ears of the cat. So now you need to press them. So turn them over and you're going to press the seams in different directions. So this one here, I'm pressing the background fabric towards the A fabric. And then this one here, I'm taking the A fabric and pressing it towards the background fabric. Now these are the ears. So you want to now, we're going to stitch the 2 pieces together. So position them like this and bring right sides together and then stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam. And then open the seam up and press it open. Now take your B fabric, and this is the 2.5-inch wide by 4.5-inch piece, and bring it on top of the ears and then stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam. Now press the seam on the back side and then take your 2.5 by 4-inch piece and bring it over the top there and then press again. And what you're doing is pressing this seam towards this piece of fabric. Now the head is completed. Take your background fabric, your 4.5-inch square, place it on top, line it up along this edge, and then stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam. Now press the seam on the back side, open it up, and press on top, and push the seam here against the background fabric. Take your 2.5-inch square of background fabric and your 4.5 by 8.5 piece of your B fabric. Place the square in the upper left-hand corner, and then you're going to stitch on this line, but you're going to stitch on this side of the line. So stitch real close to it all along there. After stitching, you're going to cut this section off. Leave about 1/4 of an inch away from your stitch line and trim it off. Then press the seam on the back, open the square out to the top and press. Pressing this seam towards this square. Now take both sections and bring right sides together and line it up at this edge up here. I would place some pins to hold and then stitch a 1/4 inch wide seam along here. After you've done stitching, press this seam on the back, then unfold and press it on top and press the seam towards the head. Now this is what it looks like when it's all done. Now you might have little jagged edges. I wouldn't trim them off. What I would do right now is just check to see if this finishes at 8.5 inch square. If you're going to make a lot of these because you're going to make a big quilt, I would wait before trimming anything off. I would wait and trim all of your squares to make sure they're exactly the same size. Now this one here is just a small sample of what a quilt would look like. So you could make every one of your cat blocks a different color and then stitch them close together without any sashing in between. It would make a beautiful quilt that way. Or you could pick a couple of colors and make all of your blocks just those two colors and alternate them. So again, you can just put them all together like this. You could put binding on the edges to cover the raw edges, or you could use the quilt as you go method where you just fold the edges over. Now I will have links below your YouTube screen on how to put binding on your quilt, and plus I will have other suggested tutorials for you. Now don't forget to follow me on Instagram and make sure you check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.